Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to day 10, the 21 days of crystal heartenings. Just making sure we got everybody in, making sure YouTube looks good. Let's see. Come on in if you can, if you didn't get the message before. If you are on Facebook, I cannot see your messages. Instagram, I actually can't really see either. Actually, maybe I can. There we go. I can see that. Yeah, I can keep in touch with some. I probably can't respond because I got it on a funky little thing here to hold my phone, but at least I can see you. Okay, so if you are on Facebook, if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, you can, I'll see your comments. Again, I may not be able to respond really quickly, but at least I have access to them right here. We got a lot going on. So welcome, come on in. If you are joining us for the first time, this is day 10 of the 21 days of crystal heartenings. Beautiful download that I got not too long ago. To put these crystals together, to kind of get some information out to you, and to basically go with the flow of what we've got offering on this beautiful today, on this beautiful winter solstice. What a beautiful day it was. I'm here in Southern California, and we've got people all over the world that are coming up on here. So some of them are not doing the winter solstice. They're celebrating a different time of the year right now. But here in the Southern Hemisphere, we are witnessing quite a few beautiful things happening right now. And it's been an energetic day today. We've had a lot going on. So I can definitely say I'm glad to be here, sitting here with the selenite. Makes sense that this is the stone of today. Keep in mind, I'm not adding these stones by each day. This is literally the order they were given to me in, and I'm just kind of following that. So I'm just amazed at the synchronicity of it all, the divine guidance that has come through about which stones to have when. I spoke yesterday a little bit about, let me just pull this up here, a little bit about the order that's been happening and what elements we've actually been working with. Just synchronicity at its finest. So I'm really grateful for that. So I guess we can go ahead and get started with 3 minutes in here. So my name is Lisa Sadowski. I am the owner and founder of Life's Remission, where I work with women to assist them in getting past their fear of recurrence. Women in remission to get past their fear of recurrence and actually assist them to push forward into a life of inner peace and freedom from fear. So, and basically that's what I do. I specialize in working with those who have had the experience of cancer, but my clients are those who are looking to start a new mission, a life's remission. The first mission was to survive, whether it be cancer or it be any other thing under the sun, some traumatic experience or traumatic memories, and get past that fear of recurrence, that fear of those recurring habits that bring us into states of whether it be addiction or just creating a life that just isn't what we want it to be. So I assist people with getting past that and primarily tapping into that deep inner peace in order to get you there, and also getting you that freedom from fear. So that's what I do. And I've been working with crystals for a long time, pretty much all my life. But as far as really having a deep awareness of them, this has been a really beautiful journey for me. So far, I should say. So I'm here to share this experience with you. For those who have not been here, I will say I am not here to get you to worship these things. I'm not here to get you to join a new religion or anything like that. Let's just get that out of the way. I am here to tap in to the part of yourself, the aspect of yourself, the highest self, that knows and has access to this deep, deep wisdom And it breaks us past these walls that keep us from moving forward with our spiritual expansion. So know that, oh, welcome, Becky. I can actually see comments. Yay, I'm so excited. She says, I'm extremely interested in learning about the stones, manifesting, prayer, healing. Well, definitely get back to you. I'll send you some information on that. So basically what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about selenite. This, as I mentioned yesterday, is the one stone that, you know, if you got to have one stone on an island and you're all by yourself and you can only take one stone with you, this would be, it might even be the only thing I'd bring with me. I don't know. Like, it's just a really beautiful kind of all around kind of crystal. And it's got some really beautiful wisdom for us as well. So I love that it came through and it landed on the day like today. 12/21, you've heard, I'm sure some of you have heard about all the hype about it. Some people say it's the end of the earth, some people, or the end of the world, and some people say it's the beginning of the new world, and some people say, you know, we've got stars colliding, and other people say it's a new star being created. There's just all sorts of different aspects to what's going on today. What I know is that when you're tuned in to the deep sovereign aspect of ourselves, that wisdom that supersedes any reality or perceived reality in front of us, when we tap into that, we are able to create our own reality. We are able to create, well, we create our own reality with everything that we do, but we're actually able to create a reality that is sustainable, a reality that actually allows for our soul's expansion. And that's what selenite has to offer to tune us in today. So let's get a picture of this beauty right on here. Let's see, we'll start with the grid. I had this up. I put this together today. This is a grid. Actually, let me make that a little bit bigger. Look at that. Let's see, everything there is pretty much, well, not everything. I guess we've got some that are polished. The points that you see there that are kind of outgoing, the pointed points, if you will, those are polished selenite, and then the little hearts are polished. But we got quite a few different things in there. The little flowery rose looking things is actually selenite as well. This is actually more, they call it a desert rose, and it just actually looked like a beautiful rose. Look at that. So beautiful. But that is actually selenite. Formed by, most of the time, formed by a lot of sand. So if you get a desert rose, you might get some sand in there, but it's a crystallization of sand, if you will. So it's a type of selenite. And then we've got the peach. I don't have that in that picture, so I won't show you that, but this beauty wants to come forward. This is one of my favorites. You don't need to get a big old thing like this, okay? I don't have the other one that's a better size to kind of demonstrate, but just so that you can kind of see how it grows. It actually kind of typically grows like this, sideways. Kind of, you think it grows up and down. And there are crystals that go like this, but a lot of the places that we've seen, you'll see that's kind of double-ended where they have to cut it off, right? So it's really an interesting stone. I should have actually written down, there's a beautiful selenite cave, I want to say somewhere in South America. I would love to go there. And it's just selenite from ceiling to floor. And these pieces, like, you think this is big. These pieces are bigger than, you know, they had a person standing right next to it. And it was like this part of it was like taller than a human. So really, really beautiful cleansing purification stone. This is the ultimate purification stone. So what I did there is called a grid. That is basically just placing crystals in some sort of a beautiful formation that moves you. There are different kinds of grids you can do, different intentions behind the grids you can make. I set grids throughout my house. If I have a bunch of stones that I like to put them in little, you know, organizing parts. But the basic premise of grids, and you do not need to follow this all the time, is that the middle is typically like an energetic center, right? And then the outputs of it are kind of like expressing that or extending that energy outward in different directions. Again, this is however you are moved to do gridding is what will be perfect for you. But what I did here is I have this tower right here. It's just so heavy. Oh my goodness. You've seen these probably, and they have a little hole down there so you can put the lights underneath and they light up. I didn't put this one up today because I knew I was going to want to show it to you, but you can see how beautiful it is. Again, notice the difference, how just the unique formations that it makes. Again, this is raw. Of course, they cut down in here, but it has many different ways that it grows. And the harvesting of it is an interesting process in itself, you can imagine. So, boy, put that back there. My goodness, that's heavy. Here's a mini tower, and then a polished sphere, right? So you can see you don't really see any striations in the polished sphere, but you get that little bit of like a cool little star effect. So here's a little mini tower for you. See, it's got some shine on it. It's really pretty. Okay. This is becoming like a little bit of a show and tell, right? All right. So so I just wanted to show the grids because this one in particular, you notice it's not perfect. It's not, each thing isn't perfectly aligned. There's multiple shapes in here. I have a theme that it's all selenite, but it doesn't have to be. You could do multicolors, and whatever you have on hand, you can create your own grid. The only thing I would say is when you're putting together a grid, when you actually take the action of putting that together, then I would just make sure that you're checking on it, you're keeping it clear. Keep in mind you've created an energetic center, even a vortex, some might say. So you kind of created a little energy center. It is your responsibility to take care of it. So if you have one set up in a certain room that is maybe got a lot of negative energy, or you've got a lot of discussions that are happening, or maybe just a lot of traffic that comes through, I would make sure and go clear it. You can do it with sage. I'll do a whole, that's going to be one of the days that we go through here. I'll be talking about the different ways we can clear our stones. So, and I'll give you just a quick rundown for those of you who are trying to do it. Yes, you can do it with water, but not all crystals work with water, or at least something like this is more of a, you can feel it's a little bit more delicate. So if you put it in water, the water will get in between it and kind of break it apart. So the best way to clear some of these stones is actually to place it on something like a bed of Himalayan salt, and let it sit there for a while, and then you discard the salt back into the earth somewhere is the best way to do that. And if you, and the point being that selenite is actually a great cleanser and charger. So if you have some stones, if you've gridded around your house and you put some stones around there, then, oh, hey, Jay. Jay says, he and Carmen, they have a few of those. They have a few. Oh, the selenites, good. Yes, you need these around the house. I might have given one to you guys. I'm notorious for handing them in gifts. They are excellent gifts. You can go to some of these shops, some of the crystal shops, and if you could find, they have little ones, like little hand pieces. They're like maybe like a couple of bucks each one. They're excellent gifts if you're going to give away some of the darker stones. You want to have some of I always like to gift a selenite along with those other stones. So it's just, I'm telling you, this is a stone. I'm on the island by myself. You will see me with one of these things. So as far as clearing these stones, if you're feeling like you want to put some stones together, you don't know what they're doing, or you just don't quite understand them, lay them next to a piece of selenite. Again, it doesn't have to be this big. I keep holding this one. But, even look, they have these little cute little selenite hearts you can buy, something like this. Just place the selenite hearts right next to your stones. When I'm doing gridding, I typically like to have some sort of selenite in there if it's going to be a long-standing grid, or and even as simple as I'll put a beautiful grid together, And then I just lay a piece of selenite. Maybe it doesn't go with the grid, but I just lay a piece of selenite in front of it. And that just kind of keeps it cleared and charged. If you start doing this, you'll find a renewed connection with the crystals as well. Many of you, for those of you who don't have maybe finances to be able to go buy a lot of crystals or any of this stuff, right? What I would suggest is go get yourself a little piece of selenite. Doesn't matter how big it is. You know, it does a lot of work with a little piece. And for women, go check your jewelry, right? We have like the garnet jewelry, you know, amethyst rings, a lot of like rose quartz, little pendants. That's kind of like what I found. I was going back and finding my old pendants and stuff. If that's a semi-precious stone, it's an actual stone, you are walking around with that energy. So what I like to do is I actually rest my jewelry on a piece of selenite, especially if it's the stone jewelry, specifically the stone jewelry. And then this small tower, actually, what this tower is for with me, is I actually lay my bracelets on top of this. My rings actually sit on top of it. I have a smaller little cone that I list, but I literally let my rings sit on top of it. And it's always clearing and charging my stones so that when I'm wearing them throughout the day or, you know, changing my jewelry, I do that. The other thing I did is for those of you who have jewelry hanging like in a wall or something, I actually bought some small, you can also get them smaller pieces of strips of selenite, and I actually tuck them behind the hangers or in my jewelry compartments. Again, I have organized all my crystal jewelry so that is cleared. But just keep that in mind, that if you don't have physical little, you know, stones or geodes or anything like that, some of us have some jewelry that you didn't even know you had. Typically, a lot of people have amethyst. If you have it, especially the diamonds actually clear themselves as well, so you can use them as a clearing aspect. But some of the darker stones, the garnets, the rubies, all that kind of stuff, charge them up and keep them cleansed and make sure that you're getting that extra use of it. You know, especially from some of this really expensive jewelry, we want to keep it energetically charged. So just a great little tip for y'all. And let's see, the other picture I had was, let me switch this, change it up. Oh my goodness, big face. Hold on a second. We've got this one. Okay, so my Instagram peeps may not be able to see it, but this is my little village. So these are kind of some of the other, okay, so you can see that kind of cone-like one. I wonder if I can flip the camera on you guys. I don't think it's going to work. I don't want to mess up with my Instagram live, but I kind of just put all of them together. It's just for you to feel into the energy of this little village being set. But, you know, that could be considered a grid as well. And again, for those of you who want to check this out, you can also go to YouTube. I've got all this put up there as well if you can't get to Facebook. Okay, so and you can see in there, I've got the little desert rose in there, some little heart concepts, a little sphere. So a little bit of everything, the many different ways you can have selenite. So let's talk about some of its properties. Like I mentioned, it is a stone of purification. It's also a magnifier. So if you have a little stone or something that, you know, isn't quite higher quality, it's another one that's great for magnifying. We did phenakite a couple of days ago. That's another magnifier, but phenakite is a lot more expensive than selenite is, and it does the same thing. So from that aspect, so definitely very useful. And then this is just an idea of what you'll see too. Sometimes you'll see these. They put other stones on top of a piece of selenite, right? It's a little pendant, and it's got all the little chakra colors in there, and they're constantly being charged. And when you wear them, it's kind of aligning all those crystals as well. So a lot of tools will be made out of selenite. You'll see wands, if some people have wands and that kind of stuff. They'll use selenite to kind of help with all that as well. And it keeps it charged and cleared and making sure that it's only the highest vibration of energy. I just love it. So that's all I have to say about it. Okay, so as a stone of purification, understand that when you're working with these stones and you're calling them into your existence, into your field, you're also calling forth the highest aspect of wisdom out there, in order to integrate this information. So specifically with selenite, when we bring selenite into our field, or any of these high vibration crystals, when we bring that into our field, we are then calling forth, I mentioned this before, with that purity of intention, we're calling forth the highest wisdom and aspects of ourselves to come through. That also means that we need to integrate a little bit, right? So it's kind of like if you're just starting to work out and you start bringing in all this really, these really heavy weights, and you want all the wisdom to be able to do this heavy workout, we got to build up the muscles a little bit, and there's some work that needs to be done. So all I'm saying is that selenite is not going to blow up and open your crown chakra or anything like that. I'm just saying that understand that you're bringing forth some really powerful wisdom. And if you are aware of that and you call forth an integration along with it, it's a really powerful exercise. And the feeling of this stone, it to me, it feels soothing and relaxing. So it's kind of like it calls forth that energy of purification, but it's not necessarily this like massive, some people hear that and it's going to be like fiery, craziness going on. To me, this is a beautiful experience with it. It's always been very intuitive with what I'm ready to handle, what I'm ready to move forward with, and at the same time expanding me and constantly drawing me forward towards my spiritual expansion. So yeah, so as far as purification is concerned, don't be afraid of that word. Just know that it's calling forth the highest aspect of yourself. If you can intentionally set that intention, if you will, to integrate this and embody this wisdom that comes through, you'll see a lot of beautiful things come through. Okay, so it does quickly open the third eye. I mentioned before that we're up to day 10. We've been working with a lot of wind energy. I am going to talk about the elements today, so we're going to talk about that once I'm done with this. The wind energy, which is mostly focused around the mind, okay? Wind energy is mostly in the mental. And we've been literally, where did my little thing go? Working on wind and spirit energy. So we have literally been kind of opening up the mind, if you will, to connect to this higher wisdom to come through. And then literally over the next couple of days, we're going to start integrating it, bringing into the body, getting into the physical. But the wind is more of the mental, the spirit, or storm is actually spirituality, spirit, that higher aspect of ourselves, and bringing that wisdom in. So it's interesting to me that these stones fell in this order that they did. It was very clear that the process of this, especially for people who have not done this, that you definitely, it's a beautiful flow to follow each of these days in a certain order. That said, if you're just joining today, don't feel like you're going to be bombarded with a bunch of information. These crystals and the energy that's being emitted out, you will receive that which is there for you to receive. And as long as you're open to it. So we've got Ann Jackson. Hey, Ann, she says she just got into crystals and stones. It's awesome. Yeah, it's, a lot of people are opening up to this right now. It's just such a great time. I mean, for those of us who have been working with them for a while and it kind of been in the closet, it's great to be able to talk about them. I mean, I don't really know what it was that I was shy to talk about them for. I mean, everybody that knows me knows that I'm talking about crystals all the time, but it seems like there's a deeper awareness, a deeper curiosity, and intuitive desire to find more out about these crystals. So I'm excited about that, and excited to facilitate more of this information coming out. So yeah, it's a really exciting time because, and if you haven't listened to the previous days, I referred to the concept of, look at the concept of Moses inscribing into stone, right? We've been doing this, our avatars that we've been, communicating with. And when I say avatars, I mean these ascended beings, any of these that you actually resonate with, that you've practiced and learned their teachings. These crystals have been here through the entire process, and actually in all of them, and before they even existed, crystals came here, crystals were here. And these avatars, these ascended beings, were actually imparting their wisdom into this crystal world. And so many people who knew that have been tuning into it and have been able to live a sustainable life doing so. So I don't expect you to go, jump into a crystal cave for the rest of your life. But if I can offer you an opportunity to tune into these things and get something out of it, it's a joy for me. So that's a good thing. Let's see. It's a fast cleansing of the aura. So for me, if I've had a rough day or I'm feeling like it's been kind of crazy and I'm just feeling, even if I'm just kind of tired, and I just, how the best way I could say it is just energetically dirty. I just feel like I've been around some interesting energies, or I'm just feeling a little worn down. Holding a piece of selenite, literally this thing right here, if you can get a long piece like this, or even, it doesn't have to be that long, even a shorter one. I've actually set it in the front and the back of my back. When I'm having back problems, physically aligns me, because if you put this on your back and you lean against it, it'll actually kind of, align your back a little, your spine. But this has been a lifesaver, actually, as far as pain is concerned with my spine. They actually list that as something that it assists with, if you believe that stuff or not. But I will tell you that I literally have put it on my back and just kind of set it on a chair. And whether it's forward this way, just kind of like aligning it with along my spine in the front, if you will. And I put it on the back, and it does really, really feel so good. It's so soothing. And it is kind of cooler. It's kind of colder feeling, but you can warm it up with your body too. But it's a beautiful, so it does have some healing aspects to it as well, if you tune into that. It's great for introduction to spirit guides and guardian angels. So for those of you who may have a loved one that's passed, you're kind of not familiar with communicating with those out of body, the spirit aspect of them. This can help you with that. And there's actually, you can do a couple things if you want a grid. So you saw that grid that I showed. I think that wants to be shown again. So I'm going to put that back up right now. Oops, I go here. There you go. Sorry. Give me a second. So this grid that I did, it's kind of hard to tell, but it was a sizable grid. If you're into this, okay, because I've actually done it, I've had some really beautiful benefits. You can actually grid something like this and lay within it. So you actually lay down, and you could put the crystals outside of you. And maybe some of your family members think you're crazy, but I'm telling you, it feels really good. It's a pretty awesome high. Again, they don't have to be these big pieces. You can get some palm stones. I thought I had brought my palm stones, but I didn't. They also have these beautiful types of wands you can use. So you can lay these. I've done it where I'm kind of laying it at my crown. You can't see this, my crown area. And I have one at my feet, and I just allow that flow to move through. So again, if it suits you, it really, really has worked great for me. But it's powerful to not just with selenite. You can do that with any of your crystals. Once you start learning certain crystals aligned with certain aspects of your body, you can actually do a physical human grid, your own grid, and place them along your chakra points and lay there. So if you're not feeling good, or you're feeling like you need some relief, it's another great way to do something like that too. So let's see, back alignment, building energy grids. And it's great at making energy tools. Like I said, this one is a really good one. Things like this that have a pointed tip are more kind of like focus the energy. You point this at your third eye, you can have some interesting dreams, right? It's just clearing a lot of the energy centers is what it's doing. So I'll kind of go into that maybe at a later date. So much to talk about, you guys. Okay, and it aids in overcoming stagnation. So again, if you're feeling a little bit kind of stagnant, like I said, when my energy is feeling a little bit just like, I'm not feeling too good, holding a piece of selenite. And again, the stones aren't fixing you. They're just reminding you energetically of that which exists within you. There is a chemical aspect here, though, I will say. So things like stones with lithium in them, when you hold that, you are actually experiencing the experience of lithium as well. It is that mineral is actually inside of that stone. So if you're holding that and you feel calm, yes, there is an energetic exchange, but there's a literal scientific aspect to it as well. So there are scientific aspects to these stones as to why they assist us as well. So the science is there, y'all. And it breaks illusions of comfort and security. So what's interesting with this is, again, we're tapping into the sovereignty of who we are. We're not expecting these crystals to solve all our problems. We are actually instead looking at them to remind us of the answers that we have within. Know that any question that comes to your mind, any question of the universe that you have, the answer lies within you. You could not have the question without knowing the answer. And I know it seems very difficult for many people to understand that, but if you can understand that truth and integrate that into your life, it really is an empowering experience, because now you know, like, okay, maybe I don't know what this is, but I know I have access to it. All I have to do is just get myself aligned with that sovereign aspect of ourselves. This is what's great about selenite, is that it actually breaks through that illusion of comfort and security that we believe that something else would be that comfort and security. And it's tapping us into our own aspect of that within ourselves. So, and I mentioned this is, I don't know if I mentioned that, but this is the wind. This is another wind energy. Again, on track for what we've been doing so far. So it's tapping into clearing a lot of the mental out and opening up that channel to spirit. So it works specifically with the third eye, the crown chakra, for those of you who are following those teachings. And actually, I think it's all the way up to like the 14th chakra or something like that, depending on what chakra system you follow. And so that is kind of the more basics about the selenite. I mean, there's just so much to this stone. Like I said, I think you can see how having it and how multi-purpose it is. This is also peach selenite. I forgot to show this one. This is a sphere of it. It's because it's polished, it's hard to see, but there are striations in there, like the white selenite is as well. It's got a lot of character in that. It's a little flash. So, and this actually brings a deep peace as well. It's going to integrate with a little bit more a different aspect of your body, but it does have that purification aspect. I think there's, I typically see more of the spheres of this, but you will see individual pieces as well, like raw pieces. Okay, so let's go into today's stone and go through, for those of you who have not been here before, Spirit has me going through each stone and tapping into it at a higher, deeper, and wider, from a higher, deeper, and wider perspective. And the initial calling was that instead of using those specific words, that those were the words that we were given for us to kind of stimulate a certain train of thought. And then Spirit says, okay, now that you kind of got your attention on that word, let's go into it a little bit more. So we're going to start off with higher. So higher, deeper, and wider. The concept of higher. Higher, Spirit's asking, okay, let's consider the word release. And instead, when you think about the concept of going higher, tapping into those higher aspects of ourselves, now, in order to get there, in order to get that higher aspect of ourselves, let's focus on the concept of release. What can be released so that more may be revealed? So when we are tapping into the higher aspect, we're asking, what can we release? What can we let go of that is blocking us to get to this higher aspect of ourselves? So what can be released so that more may be revealed? And I talk about mental. So since we are in the wind sign right now, today, the wind element with selenite, the way that it can assist us, it's that it's expanding the mind, opening up the mind and allowing us to see what it is that may be holding us back and what it is that needs to be released. And when we do that with this expansive energy, this higher perspective, we are able to allow more to be revealed, more to demonstrate itself to us, to show us what it is that we need in order for our spiritual expansion to continue. So selenite in particular is really good with opening up that mind and connecting it to spirit and allowing us to, once we're in that connected state, once we're in that connected experience, automatically the things that are holding us back can fall away. So if we intentionally are aware of that when we are in meditation and contemplate that question, what can be released so that more may be revealed? You go into meditation with a piece of selenite for that. Believe me, you will get some answers, okay? So let's see. So that's higher. And then we go into the concept of deeper. So higher, deeper, wider. I always get those higher, deeper. So deeper, we contemplate the concept of deeper. Spirit says typically, you know, we think about going down. Now, the reason that higher, we wanted to kind of get that out of our minds is because when we think about the concept of higher, in our human form, we start contemplating like hierarchies. You know, we get out of the concept of equality and we start trying to tier things up. So that's why we want to consider release and tapping into what can be more revealed from the higher aspect. When we contemplate deeper, sometimes people correlate that with lower, right? And lower energy, lower whatever. So instead, Spirit's asking us to tap into the concept of being rooted and asking what truth is calling for deeper embodiment. So again, this is where selenite is really important, because it is by opening us up, by opening up the mental, expanding our perspective, and allowing more of this crystal, more of this spirit to come in and be that wisdom for us, we can hear that truth. Like I said in the first step, those truths will be brought to your awareness with selenite. So what truth is calling for deeper embodiment? Well, we'll get those messages when we're in meditation with selenite, because it's the first thing it's going to do. It's going to start opening up some truths for you. And some of them we may not want to see. Some of them we may not want to engage with. It's okay. All we're here is for at this point in the deeper concept of getting rooted, just finding one of those things. We don't have to attack everything at once, okay? If you've got a bunch of things that are revealing themselves at once, one at a time, okay? We go at a beautiful, easy pace. So just for right now, in this moment of now, what truth is calling for deeper embodiment? And you could even modify that as like, what is the most important truth in this moment right now? You can ask that to spirit, to your guides, to your whatever it is that you call this source. Say, what specific truth is calling for deeper embodiment that I can focus on right now, right? And there may be multiple things that you're ready to take on. It's at your pace. So that's what the deeper aspect refers to, and how selenite can assist you with that. And then wider. So when we think of wider, we think of just kind of like looking, you know, from our perspective, kind of widening our perspective. But from a human perspective, we still have a limited point of view. You know, I don't know about y'all, but I don't have a very good view of my rear end when I'm walking forward, right? So the perspective is limited by nature, just by being human. So when we open up that perspective and we say, okay, what opening wants to occur in order to assist with my spiritual expansion and ascension? I know that's a long one, but what is being called forth here is, look, instead of wider, look at the concept of inclusion. What can be included in my life? What can be included in my field that I may have been kind of restricting or resisting or, you know, pushing out of my field? This is asking you, what can you bring in? And this kind of, again, these are all a series in a particular order: higher, deeper, wider. If once we go deeper and we find out what that truth is, now that truth will reveal what it is that we have been pushing away from us. And where selenite can help us with that is, again, it's getting rid of that concept of false security, thinking that something else is keeping us safe. Typically, we put up these boundaries around us and we kind of protect ourselves out of fear. Like, why are you protecting yourself unless there is a fear behind it? So when we're talking about what opening wants to occur, there's something that, understand that there's no such thing as anything to be afraid of, because everything is a lesson or a blessing. That's based on our perspective, by the way. So it can be a lesson, it can be a blessing, or it can be a curse. It's all based on your perspective. And so when we open up that perspective, when we ask what opening, when we allow ourselves to open and our field to expand, then we start finding and learning new things that will assist us in the spiritual expansion and our ascension, eventually our ascension. So this is how selenite can really assist us through each of these questions. And also, it's taking us into the concept of perspective. It's allowing us to go deeper into what it is that we have not been exploring more. And instead of self-deprecating, okay, we're talking about this right now. We can look at something, say there is a habit that we have, say there is, I'm talking all the way to murder. I'm talking all the way to traumatic experiences. I'm talking all the way to the end of the spectrum of what you think would be the worst thing that could possibly happen. Typically, we have been taught that we should focus our attention if we want to get to this ascended level, if we want to expand our spirituality, and we've done this horrible wrong thing, that our perspective is focused on dealing with punishment, dealing with repercussions that are happening for it, dealing with karma, that we have to, pay back the karma. And while some of those aspects, repentance, etc., are a piece of the puzzle that are very important, we as a society, though, however, narrow our focus specifically on that. And the context of sin is what brought us to this reality. When we are constantly feeling in sin and never feeling forgiven for it, then we're constantly in this loop. And guess what we attract more of? Guess what we create in our reality? More of that habit, because that is all we are focused on. Wherever our intention goes is where the energy flows. And if we are focusing on the negative aspect, and I'm not saying that we don't have some sort of I don't even like the word repentance, that we do something to repair that situation. The reality is that we can't move forward until you do that. That is a side effect when you actually get into the point of spiritual expansion. You can't have spiritual expansion without having done your due diligence. That is a given. But I think societally, we focus so much on that. And again, I'm talking about perspective. So we're focusing from this perspective. I'm not even asking you to change the trajectory. Let's think of the concept of stars. Today, we had a powerful moment when two stars were coming close enough to each other, right? If me facing this way right now barely adjust myself just a little bit, it's not much of a shift. But if I'm talking about projecting energy out to infinity, way, way out there in the star systems, light years away, one little shift in my degree of vision makes a big difference. We're now galaxies away, depending on how far we go. This is what I'm talking about here. When we are narrow focused, keep in mind, you still have peripheral vision, but when we come to something like this, we still say it's such narrow focus. My hands are in your face, sorry. We still stay in such this narrow mindset that all I'm suggesting is the possibility that we actually just widen the perspective. You don't even need to change your trajectory. You don't even need to physically move your body. I'm just asking, or your awareness. I'm just asking to open it up a little bit, because when we do that, instead of focusing on the sin or the problem or the issue at hand and keep looping that information, if we open just a little bit, we can see in there is a lesson. And if we direct our awareness to the lesson, then we have expansion already happening, right? If you open it just a little bit wider than that, there's actually a blessing. But again, this is we're talking about widening our perspective. We may actually be in our peripheral vision at this point, y'all. I don't know if we can do this, right? But I haven't even moved yet. All I'm doing is widening my perspective and allowing more to be in my point of in my view. And when I do that, this is where the expansion actually happens. This is where spiritual awareness really, really grows. And this is where we can actually move forward. So if you can take it further than that, I haven't even moved yet. So I'm talking about the trajectory of this perspective, right? If you actually shift and make a little bit of a move towards that focus of being a blessing and seeing what that blessing is and looking into what the lesson was and integrating that into the body and doing whatever it is to break the patterns of what caused that original act, right? If we can do that, it's such a minute intention, spirit will assist with the rest. But it begins with our opening. It begins with our opening of the heart. These 21 days of crystal heartenings, by the way, was actually meant of heart openings. It's 21 days of heart openings, because from here is where the magic really begins. From the heart space is where we really grow and develop. So this is, I will say, an entrainment over the course of these 21 days to get you in the habit of practicing, of functioning from that heart space and feeling into what that feels like into the body, and witnessing the beautiful things that happen when we function from that space. So we got that taken care of. So let's go quickly into these. I just wanted to cover that I keep referring to these elements. In many traditions, I've mentioned that when it comes to setting up an altar or even some gridding that's happening, many of these different cultures incorporate all of the elements of the earth in order to just be a reminder of the balance that is important. And each of these elements represent something different through our human experience. We parallel the experience of the earth. The earth is a living, breathing being, just as we are. And many of the things that happen throughout the earth, as the earth evolves and ascends and does everything it needs to do, it's a reflection upon us as well. So the reason we use each of these elements is basically to tune into reminding us to get into balance. And so some of us will be a little bit heavier in certain elements than the others, and that's why certain crystals will gravitate towards one person more than the other. So understand that if something has affected you in a certain way, or it really resonates with you, be open to the concept that that may be your personal experience, and it may not be what somebody else's experience is, and it's totally okay. So, okay, we're going to start. I'm actually going to start with the earth element. So the earth element correlates to like what they call the earth star chakra. It's basically the base, your base chakra, and the earth chakra. Everything that kind of goes down from your groin area down into the earth. It's your grounding energy. It's the densest aspect of Gaia in relation to Gaia, earth, right? So in earth, it is in the actual earth, the earth element, right, is reflected basically in something like the shifting continental plates that are constantly balancing throughout the earth. This is kind of where we could kind of look at that. But it represents in the body bones and muscles in the body, kind of correlated to structural holding things together, right? But it's very physical. So the earth element is a very physical experience. So like I mentioned, we have not had earth. We had a little bit of earth yesterday for the first time in Septarian, but it was actually, Septarian was covering all the elements at once. It was a really interesting concept. So we're actually going to get into an earth element tomorrow. So we're going to start grounding this into the body. So that's what the earth element refers to. This can be represented in your grid by anything that is earthbound. So you've got your crystals, you've got, a leaf, or, even some people use soil sometimes. But this is a remembrance of, again, we're tapping into a balance. Like for me, I have a plant to represent. You can have plants, essential oils, which are made from plants. That's a good one for the earth as well. So just kind of ideas as to what you can do if you're creating an altar or something, and all you need is some sort of representation of that, okay? But the crystals do serve as a representation of earth. Each crystal, by the way, has, like I've been reviewing with you, is focusing on a certain elemental as well. So if you do not have a representation of a certain energy, but you have a crystal that resonates with that, you can use that as well, okay? So the second one is, so we go from earth to fire. Earth, wind, and fire, y'all. So earth to fire, and it doesn't necessarily go in this order. This is just for me to kind of, we started with the lower, chakra, lower body, physical body area. The fire energy is in the navel and the solar, a little bit higher up, the next two chakras up, or energy centers up. And in the earth, it's represented literally in the fire by the earth's core. And fire liquefies solids and then actually turns liquid to gas. So this is the energy of the fire. It's a transmuter to a certain extent, right? And it's represented in the physical body by hormonal balance, glandular issues, sexual function, energy, digestion of food, right, in the gut area, and how it transforms that food into heat, right, transforming that food into heat. So this is more of the correlates to energy, like to energy, to getting energy, basically, right? Energetic aspect of ourselves. Now, the next one is water, which, you know, you would understand would be more with the flow, right? And this is the heart and the throat energy centers, where it kind of centers around. This would be oceans, rivers, a literal, you know, you can figure out what you would see in the earth that would be represented by water. But it's basically what it's doing. It's carrying nourishment throughout the planet, and then taking away the waste. So that's correlated to the human body, that it's reflected in our circulatory systems and our lymphatic systems, right, that just kind of move through. This is more correlated to the emotional body of ourselves. And it actually helps it's assisting with like releasing the past and flowing towards the future, okay? So that's the energy of water. You guys don't have to remember all these. These are just, I'm just trying to kind of give you a little bit of updates. You can go back and come back to these. So the wind energy is more the third eye and the crown. And basically like the breath of Gaia, the lungs of Gaia, right? The Amazon, they say, are the lungs of Gaia. So it circulates energy via air and gases. So it would be, some people call this air, the air element. And in the human body, it's actually our human breath and gases. But you know, gases throughout the earth as well, not just from the human body. I'll just leave that one alone. And this taps into the respiratory systems and how any mental cognition. So whereas the earth is kind of opening up, or the earth element, I'm sorry, or getting things confused. The wind element, which we have been dealing with a lot, is checking into this mental understanding, the analyzer, right? Kind of allowing that analyzer to be a little bit free and allow some spiritual energy to come through. So it's an opening of that third eye and the crown from these stones that have that wind energy. So that's basically what we've been doing over the past 9 days or so. So it's very much in the mental, like I mentioned, tapping into your intuition, your intuitive, opening up your intuitive nature so that we can make sure that we're connecting to the spiritual. And then finally, the fifth element is spirit. Some people call it storm. I've heard it referred, depending on the teaching that you follow, there's a bunch of different names. I like to use spirit because it's basically referring to, so if a stone has a spirit element of spirit in it, basically what it's saying is that it has aspects of all of the other elements within it, it's all included. And the spirit aspect actually comes in and balances it. Now, it could balance it for the stone itself. If it comes into your field, it could intuitively kind of pick up on which aspects need to kind of be a little bit, are a little bit out of balance and need to be aligned. So this is where the storm element comes in. It's definitely, obviously, more spiritual because it's working with the highest chakra energy systems, whatever you call it. And massive cleansing, spiritual awakening, and correction of vibrational imbalance. So like I mentioned, it's kind of rebalancing as needed. And I noticed this Robert Simmons is somebody that I kind of follow for some of his connection with crystals. And he says something really interesting. He says, healing is a process of restoring a state of dynamic balance to the body and energy systems by moving back into harmony with these forces. So of this whole thing, that phrase, I'll read it again, but the word dynamic is really important to me because when that's the part that stuck out, because when we're considering any of these aspects, the crystals, the physical healing, spiritual expansion, we need to take a look from a holistic standpoint. We need to look at the whole and understand that they all correlate together. As we go through these stones, you'll realize that there's a lot of similarities, that they come from similar families, that many of these crystals actually are all connected. These are just different aspects of them, but technically they grow on the same matrix. So when we are talking about healing, we want to heal from a holistic standpoint. So that means that anything that we're tapping into, whatever it is, whether it be pharmaceuticals or non-pharmaceuticals, or it be whatever it is that we're taking, always take into account the holistic aspect, and always ask, how is whatever that I'm bringing into my field, whether it be physical food, a pharmaceutical, just a regular energetic imprint that we bring into our field, everything that I'm bringing into my field, how is it affecting the balance and the synergy that's happening within my body naturally? And how can I supplement to make sure that I maintain that balance so that it can do what it needs to do, so that my spiritual expansion can continue? Okay. So again, that phrase is just saying healing is a process of restoring a state of dynamic balance to the body and energy systems by moving back into harmony with these forces. So if we tune into that concept of dynamic balance, we want that holistic approach for everything that we do. So these are the teachers. These are the ultimate teachers of holistic experience. These crystals are, because they cannot function. Everything that they come is a part of the whole. It's a collective energy that comes forth and connects with each of you. So, whew, that was an interesting run through. We had a lot of stuff coming through there. Just need to take a break for a second. I just feel it when it comes through, so I'm just allowing it. So that was a lot we covered. Hopefully it made some sense. You may want to go back because I ran really quickly through the 4 elements. I could spend like an entire 2 hours just on each of them, on all of them together. So, but right now that's what I'm getting. We're good to have out there. Hey, Crystal, we got Crystal Haywood in the house. Haywood in the house. Thank you, love, for being here. Okay, so let's get into our meditation. Let's just kind of get cozy and tap into this beautiful grid that was put together, came through today. You can see on the screen. And for those of you who cannot, I wish I had a picture I could show you, but tap into this beautiful energy of the selenite. Maybe I'll do it this way so you can tap into this grid. How's that? You can see all the beautiful crystals for you on Instagram, and I'll get out of the picture. Okay. Tune into that beautiful energy. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, you guys. So I am doing, I can't believe I didn't bring this up. I'm so excited. I am going to be revealing and launching some beautiful bundles where I'm going to assist you with putting together these. I keep talking about these altars, right? So we're going to have quite a few different elements. I've talked about it before. We've got the sauna mist that has all the elements that I just covered today inside of them. But we're going to have options. We're going to have, you can get one of my sacred elixirs. Put that in the screen there a little bit. I've got some essential oils that I work with. So if you're, goodness, that one just wanted to run away. If you're interested in getting some direct essential oils, I do have access to those. And then I also do some blends for those of you who don't want the spray. These are solid. This is just straight essential oils. These are not, no carrier oil. This is just a straight up oil inside. The crystals are still in there and the energy is still imparted in that. So I'll have those available as well. And then we'll have other things for the altars as well. Everything from sages to Palo Santos to other elements to help you have focus if you want to do other elements to your altars. I'm going to be doing a membership where every month we'll have a new crystal, a new oil, and a new oil that you will have the opportunity to select. You can select different tiers, and you either opt in for the oils or the crystals, or you don't. It's up to you. If you pay ahead of time, you can pay ahead of time and get a discount as well. So that's launching in the beginning of the year. Sovereign, what is it called? Sovereign sanctuaries. Sorry, it just came through today, so I had to get that. Sovereign sanctuaries are what we're going to be putting together. Sovereign sanctuary bundles. And so we'll have that available to you online. But I am doing gift certificates now. For those of you who are looking for last minute gifts and you know somebody that would really be interested in this, I've got gift certificates as low as $25, and they'll go up to whatever increment you do. I'll do a really beautiful gift certificate for you, and I can email it to you and you'll have it right on hand. So if you're interested in that, the website is not set up yet. Just you can go to livestreammission.com and just, or even on Facebook, go ahead and DM me and I'll invoice you and we'll kind of set that all up. But I'm really excited about this. This is going to be a great situation here because I'm so passionate about this. I've gotten really good at putting these altars together, and so I'm excited to share it with you all. So it's going to be fun, and I hope you all will participate. So if you're interested in the gift certificates, I do have those available now. Just hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the what is it? Links are in my bios in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So, so there we go. Okay, I got my little spiel in there. I won't take up too much of your time. So my Instagram peeps, I'll let you guys tune into this beautiful grid since I can't show you the other pictures. See all the beautiful selenite there. Hopefully you see them. And then let's just kind of tune into this beautiful solstice energy wherever you are in the world, this bringing on of spring. Maybe intend on what it is that we're ready to move past in this next season of your life, whatever that may be. And if you have a piece of selenite, it'd be great to grab it right now and just kind of hold it in your lap or hold it in your hands. If you have two pieces, excellent to hold them both in your hands. And just rest them on your lap and get comfortable. And take a deep inhale, a deep, beautiful cleansing breath. Release all that is not serving you. And take another cleansing deep breath. Release all that is not joy. One last breath. Releasing all that is not love. And all the celestials that come in and step in, eager to participate in this beautiful experience of expansion. Calling forth the highest aspect of each and every one who is in this field, knowing that only the highest aspect of each and every one who is here in the now and in the future now, in all timelines and dimensions. All that is here is love. All that is here is peace. All that is here is joy. Creating a vortex of beautiful energy, cleansing and clearing every aspect of us at a cellular level. And from this connected, collected, and centered space, we allow the highest aspect of ourselves to come forward and connect with each and every one of us. And knowing that anything that is not of the highest love and light is sent back to source, raised to its highest vibration, and instantly transmuted into love. All that is here shall serve the highest and the greatest good. And all that are here and all that are in the wake of this beautiful energetic exchange shall be served with the highest and greatest good as well. In this sacred sanctuary that is created with a purity of intention And as all the angels, archangels, ascended masters, and highest light beings come forward, they bring with us a connection to this beautiful stone called selenite. Recognizing the ancestors and the ancients that are coming forward, and grateful that we have tapped into this energy of the selenite so that they may assist in the cleansing and clearing of the mental, so that more may be revealed. It is being requested that each of you tap into your ancestral lineage. If you are familiar with these guides, call them forth. Know that they are willing. Know that they are here. They are asking you, are you ready for this next season of your spiritual expansion? Are you ready for the light to hit the seed that has been planted deep into the earth? The seeds of wisdom that were planted before you were even created in the mind of Source. Are you ready for the light to bring life to that wisdom? For it is here and it has been here. And with this clearing, there is more room for more of this wisdom to be integrated. What are you willing to release so that more may be revealed? If it is too difficult to see that, tap into the imagination of the highest aspect of yourself. What would that look like? Dream. Open up and allow. What is the next greater expression of your soul that is waiting to be revealed? For this is your choice. There are many realities in your future, many opportunities for expansion, many trajectories that you can follow. But as a sovereign being with the free will to choose, Know that those possibilities are available to you simply with the intention to see them. As you open up to these possibilities, so can they be revealed. And you may be having visions of any relatives that may have passed away, or maybe someone from your lineage that you don't even know. Someone who has been your guardian all along and was revealing themselves to you now. Connect with them. And they are saying, we have always been here. The wisdom that we bring has always been available to you. And now is even more important for you to be open to it. There is more to come. But know that a portal has been opened to allow this information to come through. Know that it is a sacred connection. Celebrate it. For the ancients, the ancestors, they are elated. And feel into the deep love that they have and have had for you. Receive the generation upon generation upon generation upon generations of love that were sent to you before they even knew you existed. The prayers, the beautiful intentions that were set for their descendants, you to receive. They come with reminders of your sovereignty. Lest you forget, know they will be here to remind you. Always. As we bring this wisdom through the body, through all of the chakras, the energy centers, all the way down through our feet. We feel into the shift of our DNA being updated, upgraded, so that true healing may occur. Sustainable healing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Allow the feeling of gratitude to run through the entire body. for this beautiful exchange of wisdom that has happened. Benefits all involved. And will deliver the higher and greatest good to all that are in the wake of everyone who has been affected by this deep, deep, beautiful meditation. And allow this gratitude to pour over into the field of any of those around you. Allow this deep wisdom and gratitude to extend all the way out through your city, your state, your country. Imagine all of this energy commingling and expanding throughout the entire planet, creating a beautiful field of unity, of oneness, and expanding out like a quasar throughout the cosmos. This is your new earth. This is your new beginning. And you are an integral part of it all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And as we pull our awareness back into our bodies, allowing the remnants of this beautiful exchange to flutter through our bodies still. We tap deeper and deeper into our physical beingness. Again, in this state of gratitude for this life that we have been gifted. And for the capacity to create our own realities. Bringing back feeling to our fingers and our toes. Opening our eyes. And welcome back. That was a beautiful clearing. I hope you guys felt that. I definitely felt the ancestors coming through. They bring a beautiful energy when they come through. And I hope you were able to connect with some of your lineage, whether you actually saw anything. Actually, I know that the connections were made, so you may be experiencing some beautiful signs or beautiful dreams. And I just say, be in eternal gratitude. This is a true gift that we have been given, this gift of life. And when we can relish in that, we can relish in this physical experience instead of focusing on being out of the body, and relish in integrating all that experience from the out of body, integrating it into the physical. It's a whole other party, y'all. All right. Well, I'm loving this energy group that we've got going here. I'm loving that you're all here with me. And today was fantastic. Tomorrow, so this would be the one stone I would take on the island. If I could take two, tomorrow's probably the other stone I would take. So we're going to ground in some of this beautiful wisdom that we have been tapping into. Ground it into the physical. We're going to get physical, and really get moving forward on this whole process. So thank you all once again. To those of you who are celebrating winter solstice, happy winter solstice. And for those of you who are on the other part of the world who are celebrating a new season in your life that is not spring, then I celebrate you as well. Know that we are all evolving, and each of our pieces, each parts of us are a necessary and an important piece of it all. So thank you all for coming, and I will see you tomorrow, day 11. See you then.